The role of HR in today's unpredictable world, as Mr. Kakkar also pointed out, has undergone unprecedented changes. The business environment is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous, or VUCA as we call it. And retaining hypo or high potential employees is as much a challenge as hiring them. In the course of the day, we hope to bring forward some solutions to the same. And on that note, we are delighted to share with you all that we have with us Ms. Aparna Sharma, who has been recognized with various awards for her remarkable contribution in the domain of HR. Ms. Sharma wears many hats as a mentor, an HR trainer, and an author. And today we will be launching the 4th edition of her critically acclaimed book named Reality Bites, The Role of HR in Today's World. And now I would like to request Ms. Aparna and Mr. Sanjay Goyal to come up on stage for the book launch. Please give them a big round of applause. Mr. Sanjay Goyal and Ms. Aparna Sharma. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Goyal, and thank you, Ms. Sharma. Thank you so much. Moving on, today's employers recognize the critical nature of total rewards as a primary way to attract, motivate, and retain employees. And the constant challenge faced by organizations is aligning the total reward strategy with the overall business strategy. And to discuss on how companies can strike the right balance between achieving the business targets along with allocating resources to the employee's benefit plan, I would like to invite Ms. Aparna Sharma for a masterclass, and the topic is HR and benefit professionals who are torn between competing priority. So over to you, Ms. Aparna Sharma. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is working. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Kakkar, for that, very thought-provoking session, and it was almost like a wake-up early morning, and I thought you made some very interesting points about what does it mean to be in HR, right? So I think it's also some kind of soul-searching that's required for us. So the topic was very right, money can't buy loyalty. Just before I go on to the masterclass, I just want to talk about the books. So she spoke about one book, Reality Bites, The Role of HR in Today's World. I've actually authored 3 books, and we had 2 books on stage. The latest one is titled Between You and Me, Ordinary People, Extraordinary Lessons, which is an inspirational book. So Reality Bites, and since this is an HR conclave, is everybody here from the HR fraternity? Anybody non-HR? Okay, all right. Non-HR, we have of course people here, but some in the audience as well. So, 1, 2. All right, so very few, I would say, interesting. So, the book covers the entire life cycle of employees, right from the time you actually try to attract someone into the organization till the exit. So it covers different aspects. How do you entice someone into the organization? So an HR perspective, an employer's perspective, an employee's perspective, and also looks at line managers, newly promoted line managers. What should they expect from HR? All right. The book is forwarded by Dr.T.V. Rao, and like we just unveiled the 4th 100. So the book has been widely acclaimed internationally and nationally. The book is also in Hindi, when I said the second book. So it's Reality Bytes Plus. In Hindi it's called Reality Bytes वर्तमान समय में मानव संसाधन की भूमिका. Alright? The trick is एक ही सांस में बोलना पड़ता है. वर्तमान समय में मानव संसाधन की भूमिका. सांस बाद में लेनी होती है. Right? जितना ही बोलना मुश्किल है, हिंदी में किताब लिखना और समझाना और भी मुश्किल है. But I understand this is Mumbai. मुंबई में अलग तरह की हिंदी बोली जाती है. अपुन तुपुन. Book उस तरह की नहीं है. So I'm not going to discuss the Hindi book. The third book is an inspirational book. Talks about 14 real life stories of people who are very ordinary, who have gone through all kinds of things in life just like you and me, and have come out tops in whatever they face through life. These are 20-year-old to an 87-year-old person. For example, people like Srimati Bimla Patil, former editor of Femina. You have Dr.T.V. Rao, whose story is covered in the book. You have Radhakrishna Chanakya Pillai, the only guy who's done a PhD in Arthashastra, and the likes. Alright? Not all very celebrated. However, all these people are known to me personally as well as professionally. So what is it that I've learned from these people and what has inspired me? Through these stories, that is what I've tried to share. We don't need to have a role model somewhere outside, out there. I think the lesson is that we can look around, as you were saying, look around and find inspiration amongst us, within us, and with people that we interact with on a daily basis. Alright? People who have been known to me for 20 years. This book has been forwarded by PadmaBhushan, PadmaShree, Dr.Devi, Shetty of Narayan Tridyalaya. Alright, so the book has been launched recently and of course has been launched globally as well across the world. Alright, so that's a little bit about the book. Coming back to HR, that is my bread and butter. That is what I've been trained to do for so many years. Since it's been a long journey, there's a lot of unlearning that, because you are sort of, typified as an HR person. I don't call myself like a typical HR person. Alright? I know time is short and you can't do a master class in 15 minutes, but I'm going to talk about 6 points. Okay? Sir has been very generous. He says I give you 20. Alright? I'm going to talk about 6 points. And I don't think we have time till I ask you a question and you think and respond. The first thing is, everybody agrees that benefits, okay? Benefits is basically fringe benefits or perks, as we understand, or non-wage related compensation that an employee gets over and above the salary. Okay? So when you look at CTC is salary plus benefits. Okay, benefits are also monetized. Alright? Everybody with me on this term and concept, that's how you understand? Yes? No? Yes. Okay, alright. So, the basic, we are aligned as far as the basic is concerned. Now, given that, this concept is understood, organizations want to ensure that they are very competitive in terms of benefits, because we were understanding that how do people get paid whatever whopping numbers in terms of salary and get poached and so on and so forth. Can benefits be made a differentiator between organizations in the same industry? Alright? So given that perspective, one looks at how is it that, why are benefits important? Okay, so 6 points again to my mind, and as I have experienced and practiced is, the first thing is, given the fact that benefits are different types, okay, there are traditional benefits and there are non-traditional benefits, and we'll come to that in a bit, okay? Healthier and happier employees, increased loyalty and retention, okay, is what happens. Improves productivity and engagement among people, all right? Clearly, benefits, because money, research says, cannot be the only factor, cannot be an only motivator. Benefits can actually act as a differentiator. You also see that it reduces attrition, improves attendance, okay? And how it does that is because of these two types of benefits, which is traditional and non-traditional benefit. Now, Mr. Kakkar touched upon the point of millennials, all right? So, we all understand that demographically, 2025, 70% of our workforce is actually going to be millennials, right? This is a proven fact. Another study says 1 in 4 millennials, okay, are ready to move jobs the minute they land the first job. Okay, they are already looking to move to something else. So, given that that's the kind of workforce that we are preparing for, okay, we are not going to deal with it when it comes there, okay, we are not going to cross the bridge when we get there. We have to start preparing for it, thinking about it today, because very soon this time is going to fly. So given that, okay, what is it, what are the kind of benefits that they want, are they looking at? Among the traditional ones, okay, for example, paid vacation, okay, gym memberships, wellness workshops, all right. You look at pension plans, you look at flexi working, telecommuting, mentoring opportunities, as you spoke about. You also have, higher education. Can I go and do whatever I want, when I want, and the company has my back at that point in time, okay? Higher education, professional development. It is not about sending someone to Ahmedabad or whatever, okay? There are a variety of things that they want to do. Is the organization professing and helping them do that? Pension plans, okay? Pension plans which are not only, life cover and so on and so forth, but something that takes care of them short term and medium term. They are not talking about deferred benefits, okay? Traditionally, you have the PF and the gratuity and all of that, okay? To my mind, that is all passé. This generation, while it is still true for most of us, okay, who are, either Gen X or, even in the baby boomer category, for this category, we are not talking about deferred benefits. For them, show me the money, okay? How are you monetizing the benefits? So, very important is the second category, which is the non-traditional benefits. Now, what are these non-traditional benefits? So, for example, free snacks, meals on the house, okay? And we talked about Google, okay? What kind of a workplace do I have? In terms of just the setup, okay? They have those sleep bubbles and, and they have those graphic boards where sort of, you speak something and that comes out as a bubble and it sort of gets recorded, okay? Very fancy stuff. I'm not saying that tomorrow organizations have to start doing that. I'm just saying these are the kind of non-traditional ones, okay? Then it is also about not gym membership. I want an on-site gym, okay? On-site gym is again a non-traditional one. I want paid paternity leave, okay? This is for the men. I also want paternity leave, okay? Which is for taking care of my pets. This is the latest one in terms of, it's called paternity, P-A-W, paternity, which is actually leave to take care of my pets, okay? And I have encountered a situation like that where somebody actually complained to my boss saying I was very insensitive towards pets, because when we were creating a new facility, we did not look at this as a benefit. Okay, so I understand how sensitive people are with respect to paternity benefits as well. Okay, the other thing could be, not necessarily paid vacations, but are they able to stagger it in a way, not necessarily during that period of time, but when they need it. So these days people accumulate and even donate leave to each other. So there's a bank that gets created, so when somebody wants leave in an emergency or whatever, is the organization flexible, or it says, no, you have CL, PL, EL, okay, and that's about it. These are the only kind of. We understand that there was a lot of furor recently about the kind of leave that was encashed, by somebody very senior. Okay, organizations, I refrain from naming people. We all read newspapers, we all understand media. You understand what I'm referring to. What I'm saying is, all the questioning was going from the fact of, in such a mammoth organization, how could they let this happen? Rule books have been made by HR people traditionally. It is time to actually reinvent and look at the rule book again when you are talking about 70% of the workforce being millennials, right? So some of these non-traditional benefits are important. The fourth important thing here is, how do you actually go about understanding or doing this? Okay, so you analyze the current situation with respect to what kind of benefits that the organization offers, right? We keep reviewing compensation structure. So benefits also becomes part of compensation structure, right? Cash and non-cash kind of a thing. So first, analyze the current one in terms of steps. The second is, align it with the medium to long-term strategy of the organization, because you're not going to keep revising your benefits, every year. It's not like an annual survey you do. If it's outdated, well, you may have to, relook at it every year. But typically, it stay for a period of, 2 to 4 years. So, align, the current benefits with the long-term, medium to long-term strategy of the organization. Having done that, very important that you, educate the employees about what the options are, okay? Which means there is a need to customize benefits, okay? And that is why it's a menu that you offer, flexible benefits, okay? And people pick and choose, just like when we go to a restaurant, people pick and choose what is it that they want to. If this is the total amount, or this is the CTC, what are the benefits that they pick, because you have monetized them. Okay, so cookie cutter approach is not something which is going to help in this manner. So customizing benefits. The fourth thing is educating employees, like I said. Fifth very important thing here is to ensure that you have proper tools to do that. You have a proper system or a tool to do that. It is not the HR department or the CNB guy only who does this, okay? And there is something called benefits administration, okay? And I'll come to a minute, which is, the sixth point in terms of what is this benefits administration. The last thing is, given the customized benefits, educating employees, it's important to train people, okay? What's in it for me? This generation, and not only this generation, even us, in the back of our minds, heart of our hearts, we ask, the question is, what's in it for me? So unless I understand what this equals to, HR people have a responsibility. First understand and then try and explain. It is not training and development's responsibility, all right? So whether it's business partner, CNB, whatever roles you call, we need to understand. You can't say, CNB guy looks after the numbers, I just do my training and development. I think that disparate approach is not going to help. So these 6 things I think are very, very important in terms of how to relook at the benefit structure in an organization. The final thing is, why do you need benefits administration? You need benefits administration because HR is overwhelmed with data. HR is not able to place its finger, and typically you'll have only 2 or 3 people in a benefits and a rewards team, and then they'll do say performance management bhi tumhi kar lo, okay, because it's number, bonus and increment and all that, ye tum do teen. So generally the HR team is very overwhelmed with data, okay, and benefits is a lot about data and number crunching. So that's the time that you need to see benefits administration. And how do you do benefits administration is the last point. Okay. So that's number one. Secondly, you have various tools. Okay. To begin with, Excel spreadsheets, which are still existing. No matter whether you have cloud or whatever, you still maintain backup in the form of Excel. How many here? You see, half the room. Because this is comfort for us, right? So Excel spreadsheets, then people migrated to PeopleSoft. How many using PeopleSoft here? Okay, few, okay. Then migrated to SAP. How many using SAP? Okay, few again. And how many migrated to cloud, which is the in thing? Okay, again few. Okay. So majority is still back up in Excel sheets. Okay, if I just look at the show of hands, alright. We've migrated in terms of processes. We also had companies customize, some of these benefits administration solutions. So you have consultants and you have companies which have their own, systems which they are selling and trying to customize, alright. So clearly, this is the route to follow in terms of you have various tools, but you have disparate tools. When is it that you need a single composite tool that talks to each other, data talks to each other? That happens when you have benefit administration. All right. The third most important thing is that the HR team feels very stressed, okay, because ESS, MSS, and any such tools don't work on either PeopleSoft or SAP, because your data may be incorrect or maybe it may not be complete, and hence you're not able to sort of align and pull out options from there. So that's the third alarm or wake up when you think, okay, this is beyond humans, okay, and AI will take over in times to come, but it's beyond humans. We need a system to actually do this, okay. And the final point is, who is it that actually can help HR and benefits, compensation and benefits professional is a integrated HCM solution. It's called the Human Capital Management System, which has all of these aspects. What we've been doing as far as SAP or PeopleSoft, we look at only modules. Okay, we look at the CNB module. I will not look at the recruitment module. If you look, some of these systems are all complete and composite. All right. Now there are certain organizations like Oracle and so on who have a clear-cut, laid out HCM solution in terms of administering benefits. Okay, so whether you give it to Merrill Lynch, who will manage your ESOPs, or you give it to some third party, the idea is people in HR and benefits have their time freed up, to look at various innovative ways to come up with non-traditional aspects of including in this menu, rather than worrying about decimal ठीक लगा कि नहीं, error 15% कैसे हो गया, and so on and so forth. Okay, that I think the formulas and so on will take care, and eventually AI will help us get there. Even when I say eventually, there are already systems that are, Oracle has deployed, a few other organizations which are already looking in. So this is a no-brainer as far as we are concerned. The important thing is to understand that the most critical, and as the keynote also sort of, pointed towards that, is money is good when it brings people, it attracts people, because it is a 30% increase or a 25% increase over my last draw. That's how we speak, right? That's how candidates also ask, what percentage increase? Okay? But benefits can become actually an anchor to ensure that an employee stays with the company and you are able to retain the person for a longer term. Again, benefits, is not only these monetary and non-monetary. There are very, very softer things and subtle things like the work culture, the workplace, what kind of, grapevine exists within the organization, what structure, and so on and so forth. We all understand these things. But if I were to just call a spade, for us, and we can say that no, that is the HR head's responsibility to look at the culture. When we are in HR, we can't say I'll just put my toe in, but I want to make sure that I don't get burnt or whatever. I just test it out. Okay? या तो पूरा अंदर या फिर ये बीच वाला नहीं चलता है. So important thing, and I think that's what she's already standing there. So with that, Reality Bytes has a chapter clearly on compensation and benefits, and that is the reason we actually chose to launch the 4th print of the book here. Thank you very much for a patient listening, and if there are questions, she's not going to allow now, but I'm around here, and we can discuss this through the day. Thank you so much. That was a louder round of applause.
Yes. After a very insightful anecdote from you and a discussion. And as she said, you can catch her during lunch and during the tea break and continue to bombard her with all your queries. Thank you, Ms. Sharma.